What's up, squad? This is Brandon from the Bantu Sun. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, I want to do a quick story time and reference a geopolitical lesson. And like all of my geopolitical lessons, is things you can apply to your day to day life, as well as geopolitics and things that have actually happened throughout the history of the world. And this is basically a lesson about accounting for luck and the utilization of positioning. So I'll give you a quick example. I remember playing football with some younger cousins, and of course they're younger and they're quicker than me. So what I did was I played off of them, and in their youth and their inexperience, they would throw the ball deep, knowing that they can outrun me. So they would throw the ball deep, thinking they was going to get an easy touchdown. But what I did to account for this is I adjusted my positioning and I played off of them 5 of 10, 15 yards because they were so youthful and so arrogant about their speed. I gave them that. I conceded this through my experience and said, okay, I know you're faster than me, so I'm going to play off of you. So about time they worked up a good run, they couldn't pass me because I was already playing them too deep. And through luck, they weren't as accurate as they could have been. So they kept overthrowing. And I was able to basically take their strength away from them, their speed, by using my position. Now, if they would have just did a quick slant, a couple yards, grabbed the ball, and then outran me, they would have had an easy touchdown. But it was the arrogance and that lack of experience and understanding of the game and positioning that pretty much hindered them. So how do I translate this? I translate this also to your personal life. What do they always say about investing? It's you'll get better returns on a stock portfolio that's diversified, a index such as the S&P index. And you know why? Because there's a major luck factor. So many things in your life, and people don't like to talk about this because you can't control luck, and it is what it is. It is an unfortunate, good luck and bad luck. Luck can make or break. And the way you have to account for that is by positioning. So because you don't know which stocks are going to do best, you buy an index. So what do? You position yourself everywhere across all stocks so that whatever stock takes off, it don't really matter because you're already there. You use positioning to account for luck. Another thing is by doing so, you're also mitigating your risk because you're being comprehensive in your approach. So it's a famous quote by Wayne Gretzky, the hockey player. I don't skate to where the puck's at. I skate to where it's going to be. And this is something you can do to help your mindset as far as positioning yourself. The faster you know where you need to get to, or as I like to call maturity, the faster you know who you are, what you want, and where you need to get to, the better you will be at your positioning because you will already be working towards that angle. And that way, when certain obstacles occur or certain windfalls occur, you will be in the optimal position to try to cope with it, to try to mitigate some risk. But to do so, you have to be focused on the future. So you kind of have to live for the future to benefit your today because you're inevitably moving towards your future. And I'll also tie this in geopolitically in history. Think about Japan. Japan was the first non-Western country to really get off the development block, right? Japan in early 20th century, they were already positioning themselves to be the leader of the East Asian Coast Prosperity Fair. They were positioning themselves to be the leader through their own unification of East Asia, in Southeast Asia. And what did that allow Japan to do? It became aggressive. And when Britain started to become weak, Japan was able to capitalize first during World War I, where Britain was occupied and Japan started taking up land. And then during World War II, where they just went on full out invasion, knocking over British territories such as Singapore and taking over. And of course, this was all turned around because there became a big resistance to their aggression by the United States and eventually culminated into the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But just think about that. Even today, Japan is the third or fifth largest economy in the world, depending on how you look on that. And this is almost a century later from World War One, or a century later after World War One, I should say. And the world has changed drastically. If you look at those big countries, those big economies, they're large populations. China, India, America. But then you have Japan in the mix with 100 million people and shrinking. So 120 and shrinking, depending on what figures you want to use, but roughly around there. They have a diminishing population. They still have one of the most amazing and developed cities in Tokyo in the world. They got hit with two nuclear bombs, lost World War II, was occupied. But because they were already positioned, when America had the Vietnam War, uh, companies such as Datsun, modern day Honda and Nissan, I believe, Toyota, Mitsubishi, they were already these companies. Japan already had an industry operating. So when America needed logistical support and South Vietnam needed transportation and support as well, Japan industrial sector was able to help out. Despite its previous losses, it was able to help out because it was already positioned itself to be technologically developed and advanced. So when this war happened, although it's unfortunate loss of life, it eventually led into the Japanese economic boom that we will see in the 1960s come about. And like I said, this all go back to positioning. Like you can't control luck. You have to optimize the things that you can control to try to get the best results. And the way you can do that, and the way you can utilize uh, your limited resources to do so, is through positioning. Where is the puck going to be? So let me know your thoughts. Comment below. Like, share, subscribe if you enjoy the content. I look forward to talking soon. Until next time, take care. Bantu up.